The most flagrantly irresponsible comment came last night from Republican Congressman Duncan Hunger of California, who actually said this.
Do you have any information or any evidence that they're actually coming in the southern border now?
Yes, yes. I
Tell me
have
what you
information
know.
that I know that at least 10 ISIS fighters have been caught coming across the Mexican border in Texas. There's nobody talking about it. Because I've asked the Border Patrol, Greta.
And the Border Patrol, they just let ISIS members come across the border?
No, they caught them at the border. Therefore, we know that ISIS is coming across the border.
Kudos, by the way, there to Greta Van Susteren for being appropriately skeptical of that series of claims.
All right, well, there you go, folks. Welcome aboard. Chris Farrell, Director of Research and Investigation for Judicial Watch. I'm sure can't wait to answer Chris Hayes there. And Chris, welcome back, sir.
Great to be on with you. Thank you very much.
All right, so of course we had the claim by Duncan Hunter, and he's a member of the House Armed Services Committee. Then it was refuted by Homeland Security, the head of Homeland Security. And now you, Judicial Watch, have come across information through Homeland Security sources, I do believe, that says that at last report I saw, 4 ISIS terrorists were arrested in Texas within a 36-hour period very recently, correct?
That is correct. In the area between McAllen, Texas, and Farr, Texas, that's P-H-A-R-R, in that zone, in that area along the border there, 4 ISIS operatives were arrested. And we have that through our own reporting network, through our own sensitive source network. In this case, from the actual people on the ground. So we're not worried about what Jay Johnson is saying in Washington, D.C., and other political operatives that are worried about an election a month from now. These are the people on the ground who are actually doing the work.
So your sources are Homeland Security people or also Border Patrol?
I'm going to be even more vague and tell you that they're law enforcement people.
Okay, so they're law enforcement people. As far as you know from them, how were they identified as ISIS? In other words, did they announce and declare they're ISIS? Were they carrying any kind of, Muslim extremist type of paraphernalia that made it obvious, or was it during some kind of interrogation, as far as you understand it?
The information that I have, and this is from the source that I know personally on the ground there, there's an apprehension made of 4 guys who, for a few different reasons, were isolated, engaged, talked with, interviewed, and then the decision was made to apprehend them, put them in custody. And then only later, in this case several hours later, did information come back down confirming that they were ISIS. So it was not some sort of instantaneous recognition. They didn't declare themselves. There wasn't some sort of documentation. This was a matter of detaining people who were suspect, and then hours later, with additional follow-up, with additional records checks, interviews, those sorts of things, they confirmed back down to the field level that they were ISIS operatives.
Well, this isn't the first time. I mean, Judicial Watch, correct me if I'm wrong, back in August, reported that there's kind of a terrorist haven in Mexico, in Ciudad Juarez, where which is in the Mexican border city, and they're plotting and planning, how to attack the United States. Is that am I accurate in your assumption there?
You are correct. There's an ISIS operational element in Juarez. I know that there were frantic efforts to identify exactly where they were and what they were doing. Mexican Marines were literally kicking down doors trying to find people. But I mean, no one should be surprised by this. There's a Hezbollah operation in Juarez that runs a counterfeiting operation, and their operational cover is a taxi operation as the front end in order to move people, money, and counterfeit dollars around.
All right, so let me ask you, because we have a minute left, are you convinced that there are more ISIS fighters that are going to attempt to cross, and are you convinced, I don't know if you've addressed this with your source, have ISIS fighters most probably, circumvented Border Patrol and are here?
I'd be speculating. I'm not going to do leaps and bounds, but I think it's reasonable to assume that the enemy knows our vulnerability and weaknesses and will do everything they can to exploit it. That isn't unreasonable. What is unreasonable is for an administration a month out from an election to vehemently deny facts on the ground that are different than what their political agenda is.
Right. All right, Chris, thank you very much for the update. Good work as usual. Chris Farrell of Judicial Watch, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, award-winning actor, writer, director, and producer Tony LoBianco. You're not going to want to miss this.